No, actually, if I would have paid better attention to how long these I was literally breaking it up by number of chapters, and I don't think
Right.
I was counting length of chapters, because there are several chapters covered in this section, but boy, there's just nothing to them. They just
Right.
race
They're
by.
so fast. And then like the first two like parts that we did, those were some really fucking long ones. You know, I was like, oh, I have to read
It
200
was a lot.
pages for my homework. Oh gosh. But this is like, I wonder how this is all gonna play out in the last 30 pages of the book.
Here's my one political comment for the episode, Ashley, before we get started in earnest. I don't know
Excellent.
what rep it was, but someone was answering a reporter when they asked why they didn't read the big beautiful bill before they voted yes on it, and they said, "Oh, it's 900 pages. We had a weekend. That's more than anybody is going to be able to read." Sir, Stephen King and Anne Rice fans would beg to differ.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien would like to have a word.
Yeah,
my
I
friend.
can fuck up a book, friend. I can fuck one right up. And I bet if I was getting fucking paid to read bills and then vote on them like a responsible representative, then I would do my job and fucking read the bill. Well, I didn't know that was in it. Oh, fuck. If you'd read it, you would have. I didn't expect a leopard to eat my face.
Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal universe, the Vampire Chronicles, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and the Immortal Universe TV series from AMC and AMC+. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join.
Welcome to the Articulate Coven. We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
Ashley.
And this is the Articulate Coven. That was just such a perfect place to put the intro music, that badass rock music that we're using now, which, by the way,
I love, by the way.
I've fallen in love with it too. I liked it when I picked it, but I've fallen madly in love with it now, and it's like hype music. One of the trivia show that I edit years and years and years ago, before they had any audience and cared about the idea of monetization in any way, they used the Motorhead song "The Game" as their they would do like their show, and then they would say, "It's time to play the game." And then they would, "It's all about the game," you know, and then, yeah, and a little bit of the music while they read the rules. And then obviously they were like, "Hey, I'll never be able to put this anywhere and make any money if I don't." But still, when I'm editing it, I sort of do it in my head. I pretend to be Lim and get it done. Hi, we are a podcast about Anne Rice, her works, and the adaptations thereof. And I had a Kermit-sized frog in my throat. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, y'all, the pollen is trying to kill us.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season.
I tell you what, man, I was just reading some meteorologist reports. I'm afraid a hurricane's going to try to kill us over the next week or so. Watching out for Dexter. Why would you name it a goddamn serial killer?
So you know they pick all the names. They pick all the names early. Like
I didn't know that. So they're all chosen already.
They have
all the possible names.
All the possible names for the named storms of the season have been chosen already and will be assigned in the order in which they occur. Fuck Dexter.
Man, does make me wonder, what are they going to do when we start having, on average 50 named hurricanes?
Yeah, they have to lap it. You got to lap it.
I know they do like some alpha, beta, gammas or whatever now, but like
they alternate.
Anyway, when are we going to switch to?
Yeah, we're a meteorology podcast.
Alphabet.
My gosh.
Anyway, okay. Jesus, we really are literate. Let's talk about a book. You were right. There isn't a lot of this left. However, it's 2 books in a row now where I would say she had like 3 good story ideas and for whatever
Mhm.
reason decided to burn them all. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
could
think
have given us a whole book about Quinn,
Mhm.
like as a sidequel.
This book also could have been, I wouldn't have minded another 100 pages to really tell me the rest of this story without being
That's
so
a good point.
rushed. It's kind of like she was like, I met my contractual obligation and now I'm supposed to stop.
I don't know, man. Especially knowing the books that are still left in this series. I mean, and this was a weird time in her life. I know, like she's about to go back
Right.
to the church. We've talked about that
Right,
before.
right.
So like, who knows, man, but it is
But it did ramp
weird.
up. It took a while to ramp up and then no one's coming into your
Hang
house
on
to
just
kill
a
you.
second. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Hang on. I think my wife just left.
She unhappy.
Nola came back in. So there we go. I will just make this part of the episode. My youngest daughter, I've got twin girls, but the younger one, we think might have sleep apnea. She's getting a sleep study done tonight in a lab. And so she and Kelly are gone. They just left to go to the lab for the evening.
Fee.
Yeah, I know. Well, honestly, knowing how little the CPAP machine bothers me and how much it has aided my sleeping and my
Man.
just general health because of it, I'm like, hey, let's just streamline. Yeah, just like tell her tonight. Yeah. Oh man, you had a bunch. Let's just go ahead and order your
Let's
machine.
just go ahead and take care of you so you can sleep well forever.
That's what I
Can
was
you
telling her. I was
imagine
like,
if you slept well from the time you were like 10 until like your whole life? I mean, I didn't sleep normal until like 2 years ago.
well, I mean, I just think, and this is what I was, I was telling her. I was like, honestly, the rhythm of using one of these machines, if that's what you need, kiddo, it will help you alleviate so many other bad habits as you age that it will probably serve you in ways none of us can even imagine. You know what I mean, genuinely think about if you had to sleep beside a box with a mask on your face from the time you were 11. And I know that
Right.
seems like terrible, but trust me, as someone who does it, it's fine. It is fine.
I know that has a CPAP is like, I've never slept this well in my whole life.
Okay,
I don't even
you
have to
say
worry
that.
about dying.
All of my friends who have one, that is the case. But I have heard so many old men for all of my life
Oh, yeah,
bitch
for
and moan
sure.
and complain about
I think
having to
they're-
wear one of these machines.
I think they're much improved.
I mean,
think
maybe that's just, maybe
designs-
they used to be like iron lungs. Anyway,
Yeah.
Quinn doesn't have an iron lung and none of this is
No.
involved with vampires. I'm sorry.
We took a little side trip.
But that's what they're doing. My older twin and I are going to watch a movie since we got the house to ourselves tonight. So
I love it. That's gonna
I'm
be
excited
so much
about
fun.
that.
What are you watching?
We haven't decided yet.
Oh.
I suggested Up because I've had a
Oh.
hankering to watch it for a while now. It's been
I
a long
love
time since
Up.
she's seen it too. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie.
Oh.
But though this twin does not love animated films, she really likes live action. So taking that, I have decided I'm going to go into the library and pull something. Something classic that'll blow her mind.
I love it.
She missed the movie night the other night. We did Oh Brother Where Art Thou with the other kids,
Love
like
that
just
one.
recently, and it hit so hard for everybody. It was like, yeah,
Oh.
nailed it.
I
But Utah
love
wasn't
that
here,
movie.
so yeah, I'm excited. All right, let's get to this book.
Back on track.
Orion. Orion is such an amazing vampire and such an interesting character, and
Yeah.
and we don't get enough of him.
No, I could have had many chapters of these two hanging out. Like, this was a part that I was like, give me more. He should have more than 1 or 2 nights of education, like
I mean, part of that is on Quinn, and we'll get there in
No,
a minute because
100%,
he deuces
100%.
the situation. But
Yeah.
genuinely, like, I don't know what Anne was thinking, and I don't remember whether Orion plays a major part later in the series or not. So I don't know if this is basically all that we get of him.
if this is it.
Yeah. But really, Petronia is his maker, is Quinn's maker. But Orion is his trainer. Orion
Yes.
is the one that he was speaking of when he told Lestat, my maker said that we're blood hunters, not vampires,
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
That was the word that I was taught. He means Orion. And that is exactly what he does. And honestly, he's really good at it, which
Yeah.
historically through these books, we don't have a lot of great makers.
we do not have very good vampire mentors. In fact, most of them just set themselves the fuck on fire. So this guy, I think that is maybe one of the reasons why I like him so much. Also, he's very patient. When we're seeing, Louis' transformation and interview, so much of that is like so jaded, and he's pissed at Lestat, and so it's not even an accurate representation of what is still not a very good like early education into being a fucking vampire, but like this guy, he's like taking his time, and he's kind about it too. He's like understands that like you've been through some shit and you feel a lot of things, like he's very
he
patient.
even tells him when it's time to go to sleep the first time. He first of all, he tells him that he doesn't have to sleep in the coffin tonight, at least the way that they've got this set up, he could sleep out, but he needs to get used to the coffin. And he says specifically, don't be afraid of the narrow box and don't be afraid of your dreams. And I was like, first of all, there's so much of the vampiric mind that exists even when the body is asleep during the daytime. They go unconscious, and yet we know from Akasha and from Lestat and earlier books that they project even during the daytime, right?
Well, and even if they do a deep dive and do a bury for a couple few years, they're still like connected.
The mind is active, and they can literally astral project if they're powerful enough. And also, though, their physical body is active in a way to protect itself. If you if someone opens the tomb, they'll be attacked. Anyway, all of that to say, I think this is sort of like your first experience with hallucinogens.
Right, if you have a really good person to guide you through.
If you've got a good Sherpa, they're like, hey, don't be afraid of the narrow box, man. And don't be afraid of your dreams. Like, you're in charge of this. This is pleasant. You can lead it where you want to go. You don't have to go into the trauma box if you don't want to.
No.
Right? And that's what Orion has given Quinn permission to do here. He's like, hey, sleep doesn't have to be something that you fear. This isn't like the thing that it made me think of when he said it, it was like, this is just rehearsal for final death or something. Like, no, it's not, man. Like you can do whatever go walk in the sun in your dreams.
You're gonna live
if
forever.
You want to.
You're fine.
Yeah. But you talk about his patientness though, even with Petronia. And we asked last week, like, why are these three vampires still together? Orion
it's
clearly
strange
has
combination.
He's got affection for Manfred, and he says so in this section specifically, but also we know that he's got affection for Petronia, and fine, he made her, but like, she's so cruel, it seems like, and she clearly does things that he doesn't want her to do, and yet he's just along for the ride. But he says here, she's mercilessly clever, eternally whimsical, and persistently unhappy. Orion wanted a fixer-upper. Orion wanted to save a hoe. He needed a project, Ashley. He needed a project. Oh my God.
Vampire save a hoe.
I love Petronia and control her, he says. Okay. And then he tells Quinn his history. And this is the big point that I want to talk about. I think probably one of the biggest points for the whole episode. Orion, like Petronia, we learned last time, had been bought and sold for sex before becoming a vampire. Okay. Actually, I know historically speaking, the sex trade is something that a large portion of the human populace has had to endure, but it does feel like it's high in the population of vampires specifically.
It truly does. I thought that when I hit this reading it, I was like, Jesus Christ, does everybody have to be kid-diddled? Sold and kid-diddled?
I mean, genuinely, again, I really want to know a little bit more about Anne's childhood.
Oh, man. There's a lot.
My understanding of her biographies that I've read is not that. I mean, she was poor, but like, I think her parents both loved her. Her mother was a drunk, but like, I don't think it was, anyway, what all of this is about.
There's something.
I'm glad
she
you
was
noticed
Catholic.
it too. Right?
Yeah, no, this time it was just jarring. I was like, this is just unnecessary. It's just literally like a little throwaway section. Like, you're not even giving us that much fucking information, and you're still gonna make him have to be bought and sold? God damn it.
So the guy that saves Orion effectively, I say saves Orion. I mean, he bought Orion, and he was
Saved
a
him
nice
Marius
master.
style.
Right? He was exactly saved him Marius style. Probably going to be the name of this episode. God, that is so fucking true. Here in Italy, it was here in Italy that he encountered the sorceress that gave him the power. So this dude, and we don't know much about this guy, but it seems like he was sort of a Magnus type almost. Some sort of like necromancer, ne'er-do-well, into a bunch of the occult and mystic shit, and was going after this sorceress for her power. Didn't realize he was going to end up a vampire.
Then ended up he fucked around, he found out.
Yeah, and really didn't understand what had happened to him, so much so that he accidentally makes Orion, and then goes about for the next 25 years trying to find a cure. And then kills himself, I believe.
And then,
yeah,
and then kills
I didn't
himself.
write that down. Yeah. So genuinely a Magnus type. It's that old trope of the maker that burns himself. So Quinn is talking to Petronia, which Orion tells him, hey, she's really excited to see you.
Yeah,
actually.
she likes
She's been
you.
patient.
Don't worry. She likes you.
Yeah. And she is, and she does. She's still weird. She's caustic in many ways, right?
Yeah.
But you have to remind yourself, this is a, intersex, warrior, gladiator, sex slave, immortal, with a pile of power.
I mean, right? I love that he calls her whimsical.
Yeah, right. It is. But I mean, she does come from the circus.
Right. And I love a little whimsy in a person, like that made me like her more immediately.
She tells Quinn, it doesn't please me to bully mortals, no matter what you think to the contrary, Quinn. And we find out that Petronia has killed and disposed of 4 different human killers that had come to avenge the death of the bride that Quinn accidentally killed the night that he was made.
Whoopsies.
So like and I will say, Petronia really doesn't hold it against. She tells him what has happened, but she's not like, you owe me, you lazy motherfucker, or whatever, like.
No, this is how we take care of business.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine.
But he almost immediately decides that he's not going to live with these 3 vampire weirdos, and he's going home.
You're just going to go home.
And they're like, how are you going to go home? You can't fly that far.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, I'm going to go the same way that everybody goes.
I'm super rich.
I'm going to call my aunt.
I'm going to call my mom and tell her I need help. Get me a plane ticket and get me the fuck home.
I'm going to tell her to send Alfred in the plane for me. I mean, genuinely, he walks to town, he goes into a hotel, and he goes, oh no, I've been robbed. I don't have my passport and my money. I don't know how I got here. Oh my gosh. Can you please call my very wealthy aunt in America and let's arrange some things?
This book was published in 2002. We know it was written probably pre 9/11.
Yeah, that's
one could not get away with that. Certainly not that quickly.
I mean, I will say, if he was willing, first of all, if they had money to throw at it, and if he was willing to stay in the hotel for like a night or two, I bet they probably could get like the consulate to send him paperwork so that he could get into a plane, right?
The uber wealthy can always get home.
That's I just remind myself from time to time, a fine is just the price to do a thing if you're wealthy enough. So, anyway, he goes in, it works. He makes this plan with Queen by phone to get home, only flying by night.
Red eyes. Taking his red eyes.
Why? And everybody thinks he's a little weird, but he's just, he is a little weird. He's got an imaginary, goblin friend.
But he could he could be weird because he's fucking crazy rich. Crazy rich people get to be weird too.
I mean, I will just, again, I said earlier, this was the only political content. Boo, I lied, I guess, because here it goes. Y'all, the sitting head of the freaking, what is he? He's not the Attorney General. What is RFK's title?
He's that Health and
Human Services, HHS. Okay, the sitting head of the Department of HHS ate a roadkill bear. Well, he didn't eat that one, but he ate a different roadkill bear, and then he dropped one off in the park. He was going to eat that one too, but it went bad because he forgot about it.
And he had a
Like-
brain-eating parasite. Probably from eating
the
roadkill.
fucking roadkill bear. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, in fact.
It hurts.
Anyway, idiocracy indeed. So,
Man, and that's a Kennedy. How fall we've fallen, right?
you got enough money, Ashley. That's my point, though. Like, RFK has enough money. That's not
Mhm.
weird. It's just eccentric. It's not career ending. It's just a
No.
notable thing.
That happened before.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
It works. This fucking stupid plan made by a child that has suddenly found himself an immortal. It just works. He fools everyone. However, once he gets home, Goblin reappears, and it immediately gets weirder than shower ghost hand jobs, Ashley, which is saying something.
That is saying something. I didn't think it would get weirder than shower ghost hand jobs.
No, but it does. And it's interesting too when we think back to Amel and the descriptions that we got of him in Queen of the Damned.
Mhm.
Goblin surrounds Queen or Quinn, and it becomes this blood cloud, and then he reabsorbs and forms even
Mm.
stronger than he was, and then disappears. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But first, Queen is not doing well, which we already knew. That's why we had to come home from Europe in the first place.
When she's 5 years older than she lied, and she's 5 years older than she said she was, which I love.
I was gonna say, of all the things that she's already revealed in this book, she's like, oh, and by the way, I've been lying about my age.
I'm 85. Family secrets.
So they've stopped the B&B now. They're not having guests anymore to the house. They've moved Patsy back into the house because she's not doing well either. The
Right.
AIDS is advancing.
It's full blown.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot they say that.
Full blown.
I mean, it's so weird because that was a phrase that got tossed around a lot in the 90s, especially, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he doesn't just have HIV, he got full blown.
It's full blown. It is now it's no longer the HIV. It is now the full blown AIDS.
Badly blown AIDS is a different thing, I guess. I don't know. All right. Tommy is gonna go away to school. He's studying at Eton.
So
and
happy
he's gonna
for
find
Tommy.
Atlantis. Me too. Like, what a
God.
great story. Terry Sue's fine. It turns out, again, throw money at the problem. Do you know what, Ashley? People on hard times, making hard choices and bad decisions, turns out if you solve their healthcare needs and their
Right?
hunger needs and their
Yeah.
housing needs,
And their childcare needs? My God.
their dependency on men, in Terry Sue's case, for instance, she needed that paycheck. She don't
got
need
a
that paycheck no more.
hysterectomy.
Right? Happy
She's
to do
like-
so now.
Closing the shop up.
Hey, we didn't mention him last episode. But we found out about him last episode. So Jasmine, once Quinn got back from Europe, turns out Jasmine had a baby, and it's Quinn's. It's Jerome is the name of this young man, and now Jerome is a genius, as you would imagine, because Quinn, of course, is a genius and perfect and tall and beautiful.
That's right.
But that's gonna go fine. He's
His
there.
beautiful
and he's
friend
part of the
Lestat
family.
says so.
Quinn convinces Jasmine to give him the name. So he's going to be an actual Blackwood. Petronia and Quinn have a very awkward family reunion. I mean, especially considering that he just deuced out on her. Petronia shows up, though, and it's like, hey, man, here's like training manuals for being a vampire, I guess, if you want.
Here's some books.
She gives him the Vampire Chronicles. Which... Good job, Petronia, actually.
Love that's here's your textbooks.
But she very specifically says, hey, these are real.
Right.
And that dude really lives there. And he will really melt your face off before you ever get to speak to him. He'll explode your chest and you'll be dead for reals dead. Please don't go to New Orleans, you stupid idiot. So, of course, he races to New Orleans pretty quickly. But it turns out actually he didn't go just on a whim. It wasn't just the existence of Goblin as this blood cloud. Things escalated, and we
Yes.
didn't hear this previously. Goblin kills Aunt Quinn. Now, Aunt Quinn was going to die anyway, probably, but it is hastened by Goblin's newfound desire for blood and connection to all of this,
Well,
and his emboldened power and his anger at Quinn.
Yeah,
right?
you have
Yes.
to wonder too, like how much the vampiric blood is affecting him too. Like that's changed blood. That's not even like, even if he were to get into Quinn and root around before he was transformed, it's not the same as it is now. That those guts feel
Right.
different.
Well, it makes me wonder if it's not just that the imbibing of blood from Quinn and specifically like after he takes a victim, if it's not just that is a physical sensation where Goblin has never really had physical sensation before,
Mhm.
but if it's that literally he has been a little bit transposed with Amel as well now, right?
Yeah.
Like Amel is in the blood. We know that, like on a microscopic level, on a subatomic level, Amel is in every particle of the blood. So if Goblin takes that in, whatever minimal physical existence Goblin has,
Right.
Amel's in there too now. And we know from before, and there's even more of this to come in the Prince Lestat trilogy, Ashley. I'm so excited for us to get to that part of it. And I don't want to spoil anything there, but Amel has personality. Amel has desires and wishes and a hunger that is that is put upon anyone that becomes a vampire. So I think again, part of this aggression from Goblin is not just that he's angry, although Quinn didn't put him in the non-existence box, right? Like while Quinn was gone, Goblin was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you put me in timeout for fucking real, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, fascinating to think about how she's playing through this, and it is weird that she doesn't, like, it all wraps up in kind of a neat bow so quickly. And I'm like, let's dwell with it. Like, why don't we have any Talamasca agents that get to pour through this and tell us what's going on? Like, I want an exposition scene where David and Aaron discuss this fucking occurrence, right?
Right,
You know?
because this is fucking bananas. And you know, the way it ends, it has it has ramifications for the Talamasca.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so Goblin's dead. Julian shows up for Queen's wake. The ghost of Julian, which is interesting to me that Goblin is tied to one place, but Julian's like, I was a sorceress. You guys forget. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, don't even worry about it. But he shows up with Quinn and he tells him, he's like, hey, you cannot do this to Mona. Okay. This thing that has happened to you, don't do this to my granddaughter. And Quinn says that he's not. And we're all like, yeah, but are you?
Really? I will say that, like, he's very determined not to see her. Like,
yes.
and he's like, and he seems to be very practical about that. There's something about his transformation into a vampire that's made him have a little bit more sense. Like, he's got like a little bit more common sense, which I appreciate. But he's like, no, she'll see right through it, and we're going to be in all kinds of trouble if that happens, you know? And so he's got like this determination not to see her. Now he's still calling and checking on her and wondering what's going on. And given the chance, would definitely turn her into a fucking vampire.
So now that Lestat has got the full download on everything and is all caught up to speed, and
But you almost forget that he's been sitting there just listening to this the whole time.
It's like, I can't remember what movie it is. I think it's Iron Man 3, but there's one of them that the post-credit scene is, it turns out this whole thing has been him telling the story of what happened to Bruce Banner, who's sitting there asleep, actually. Yeah, that's
Feels
what this
like
is.
Iron Man 3.
You're like, oh shit, Lestat's here. I forgot Lestat was here the whole time. But he all gets caught up, and finally Lestat makes the point that, hey, actually, I have some wizards in New Orleans. A couple of mediums, actually. Let me get the best one, and I'll be right back. So Lestat, Merrick, and Quinn are going to go get rid of Goblin. This is the plan. This is what's going to happen. There's a really beautiful scene. I didn't write about it, but there's a scene where they all go to church. They take communion together, which I thought was lovely.
I did too. And well, I also is when is it Petronia? Shows back
Yeah,
up for her funeral, for her wake.
You're right. Petronia is at the wake too. I forgot about that.
I
She
love
doesn't make a
that.
scene, but
No,
it's
but
literally
she's just like grabs
yes.
his hand and is like, "Bummer, man."
Yeah, I mean, it is like having an autistic parent. I don't know how to love him. It's like I don't know what to do. I don't know. Am I hold your hand? I guess like sad queen die. I don't know. I don't know.
Pat your shoulder. Very sorry. Frowny face.
And I mean, to be fair to Petronia too, it would be difficult for her to be truly consoling since Quinn has held her literally at arm's distance.
Oh, for
the whole
sure,
time, right?
for sure,
So,
for sure. But I just love that. I love that show up, and I did. I fucking loved that. That Lestat and Merrick are with him the whole time and sit with him and take communion with him, and they have this.
He's so surprised that they would go up. And
they would do it.
Well, you were going up. Why wouldn't they? Like, of course they would. Also, but like, we're not scared of crosses. Why would we be scared of the blood of Christ? Even if you're an actual Catholic, which they all are. So.
Right.
That's the other thing. It is funny. We got 3 Catholic vampires sitting here. I mean, one's sort of voodoo as well, but like, whatever, man.
I wouldn't take communion.
It's an open table. You're welcome. You're welcome too. I do think actually Catholics will tell you you're supposed to be,
communion, first communion.
No, what's the word? Confession. You got to give confession. I think. Okay. So they don't exactly have a plan other than Merrick says she does. She's like, yeah, let's get ready to do this.
And real talk, does this ever end well when Merrick is like, I've got a plan. I'm not going to tell you about it. Just trust me.
Okay. I did not remember what the plan was, and I didn't remember all of the specificities of what she was going to do.
Oof.
I did remember that she didn't make it out of this book. And I was like, so as soon as she shows up, I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she going to write this woman off in like less than 100 pages? What is going on here? It's badass. Like, it's a badass sequence. It would look amazing if we ever get this on film.
Why does she always show up with dead people or dead body parts? Like, don't invite Merrick to a fucking dinner party. She's going to bring your fucking, like, the finger you cut off on your mandolin.
Listen, you call the voodoo priestess, you're going to get dead body part,
right? We're going to get voodoo.
You call Anita Blake, you're going to get some zombies. That's the way that works, right?
It's true. Anyway, that's the way it goes.
She does. She shows up and drops some news on Quinn. Goblin's real. Goblin's a ghost. He's not a spirit. He's the ghost of your twin. You've got a dead twin. Quinn, and they never told you about it. And here's his body. Actually, by the way, I've desecrated his grave.
Yeah.
And I've brought him here because we're going to burn him. And how are we going to burn him? I'm going to jump in the fire. I mean, obviously, Goblin fights back during this whole sequence, and it's a whole big thing. But like, the end result is I think it was Merrick's plan to just take this twin into the fire. And you're
100%.
like, what the fuck is it? I still don't understand. Sitting here now, is it just that she didn't want to be a vampire? Like,
I think she was in the sad vampire phase.
Oof.
And like they said, that gets the young ones. If they don't get out of it, it gets the young ones.
The melancholy came quick for her. And it's not like Merrick was an incredibly balanced human being.
No.
We've talked about when you have multi-day benders that you schedule into your calendar.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
When you plan your alcoholic fucking binges.
Going to be blacked out for several weeks, so I have some work I have to take care of today.
I should take care of this today because I won't be getting to it for a little while.
But it is a shame. Merrick's character was really interesting, especially since we know there are Mayfair characters involved heavily in the plot of the next book, Blood Canticles.
Right.
It's like, well, you just gave us a new good one. Like, why not? Why couldn't we have had all of them?
You wrote a whole fucking book about her.
Yeah.
You wrote a whole fucking book about her and then you just kill her? I mean, I'm not
No, I am
she's
a little.
yours, and you can do whatever you want with her. But fucking A, why write a whole book about her and then just kill her off so unceremoniously? I mean, very ceremoniously, but like
to be very frank, when she lets so many male bastards remain.
It's very true. She is not as kind to her women.
I mean, Armand burned in the sun in a recent book and came back anyway.
Yeah,
she's like, Merrick's out. Actually,
bye.
No, Merrick's gone.
It is a bummer because I really did like Merrick.
Me too. I am very interested to see, and I mean, realistically, I think it is pie in the sky hopes to think that we would get to this book being filmed and adapted. But boy, there's some good shit in here. And again, like drawing out into a season or maybe even 2 where you could tell a little bit more of these stories.
Yeah.
It would be really, really interesting to get to see Merrick on film. And for a little bit of this to be, even if you're going to end her fairly quickly, to give her a slightly more satisfying ending in some way, to make it a necessity that it be this way, where it's not really laid out for me anyway.
And to just knock it out of the park, like do it really well, like have it, have it be real
second
badass.
Draft, man. Second draft. Again, we've talked about it. And
maybe an editor's
pen. Use an editor. Yeah. So Lestat and Quinn make it back home, both dejected and a little worse the wear for having lost their new compatriot. And yet they don't have time to mourn because a dying Mona is waiting for them at Blackwood Manor when they get there. She's fled the hospital and First Street and her family. She wants to die with Quinn. No, I don't. Again, this is a girl who since the age of like 12 has fancied herself Ophelia and talked about floating in the stream with flowers dead. That's
around the age I read Hamlet, and I felt the same fucking way.
I think that's sort of why Shakespeare wrote it, honestly.
I mean,
he also had known a 12 or 13-year-old girl once in his life and was like, you know what it feels like to be 12 or 13? It feels like this, actually.
You know what it feels to be a young woman and have a dude mess up with your fucking mind and then murder your father? It's a pretty weird day.
I mean, he had it coming, Ashley. He should have been
behind that tapestry. Don't spy. Snitches get stitches.
So Mona, though, she wants to come and die with Quinn. She's like, I'm dying. I know I'm dying. Everybody knows I'm dying. I don't want to die in a hospital. And I will say this: I don't want to die in a hospital bed either if I can help it. I'd much rather die surrounded by friends and family or a loved one.
And peaceful. All these flowers that I brought with me to die in.
Exactly, man. She does have a plan.
However, setting it up.
Quinn's like, well, here's some new information.
Or
yes, and you will die, actually, but also so Lestat makes her. Lestat says, hey, let me do it. First of all, she'll be stronger that way. And second of all, you can still speak to her. You can speak to her telepathically, and you won't be blocked from each other.
I wouldn't want to separate you guys in any way. I loved that. That was a very, very, very cool move of our guy.
It's sweet. It is. It is so short. Like, again, very similar to the last book. There's just no denouement. Like, she's like, and the end. I mean, I will say, knowing that the next book is a direct sequel and it comes very quickly, what it feels like here is she had one like 800 or 900 page story, and the editor were like, hey, you have a contractual obligation to put out a book a year for this thing that you did. And she's like, oh, well, just
snip this.
Here, there's one. Yeah, like literally, like she just took half the stack and went, there's one.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Patsy getting hers.
Oh, good call. Oh, yes, I forgot. Quinn kills Patsy.
Quinn fucking kills Patsy.
I mean, and she had it coming.
She is hateful. She hates him.
It's so crazy to me, though, because even though she is hateful and she's so terrible to Quinn and wanted Goblin to, literally says that the other baby should have lived. Wrong. That's from Walk Hard, isn't it? No, maybe it's from the Johnny Cash movie where the daddy says the wrong son died or whatever, right? Because brother gets cut in half by the saw.
That's real Denethor energy, I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's effectively what Patsy does. But even then, even when Quinn is doing it somewhat out of anger, it's still really a mercy killing.
It's
like,
quick.
Patsy is, yes, exactly. It's quick and effectively painless, or very nearly pain. It's as painless as a bullet to the head, anyway.
Yeah, she is so, the things she says to him, and that she's like, you, like, it's your fault that your brother died. You are eating too, like, basically, I think one of the coolest things a person can do is absorb a twin in the womb. Like, I don't think a parent of a twin would think that's funny. But as a person, if I find out that someone I know is a twin and that they absorbed their twin, I'm like, I have a different kind of respect for them.
I do remember when I first started reading these sorts of books, the two things that you could do that would just inflame my imagination in a way that almost nothing else would: introduce an intersex character, which I just had no frame of reference for, right?
Right.
And the fact that I then discovered that that's real in the universe and can happen, you're like, wow. And the other thing would be an absorbed twin. You put an absorbed twin in your story, and I am so there. Yeah, I'm
fucking
there. I'm
fascinated.
always there.
There was a really great Tales from the Dark Side that was this guy, he was a ventriloquist, and come to find out, like, his hand, his twin was in his hand. It was like a twin hand,
mentally, yeah.
And no, it was like a little gross fetus hand, and then it was like in the puppet all the time. His twin was the puppet.
We wore the puppet all the time. Oh, I've never seen that episode.
Oh,
wow,
and it goes crazy and cuts his fucking hand off. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. Wow, that's okay. See, I'm in for all of that stuff, man.
Yeah, we are here for it. I'm so glad we brought it up.
But I am too. I'm so glad you remembered it, honestly. I didn't make a note about it because I did think, well, first of all, she had it coming, but also, like, the character of Patsy is not terribly interesting to me. The trauma that she caused for Quinn is so minimized and alleviated by Queen's existence.
Yeah, by other people in his life that step up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think about Quinn as a traumatized person at all, even though technically I suppose he is, and this mother relationship is fucked up. I guess it shows to go, Ashley, that even the wealthy got their problems, don't they? They can just patch them with dollar bills.
Yeah.
He's crying on all of his money.
My linen handkerchiefs.
And that's it, folks. Deuces to Blackwood Farm.
That's the book. That's the whole book.
We're going to go straight into Blood Canticle, which is the next book, now that we've got Mona and Lestat and Quinn as our new trio. And again, I will say this. I do wonder in this moment, what are fucking David and Louie thinking back in New Orleans? They're like, who are these two motherfuckers?
Right? And like, you wait a minute. You had Merrick with you. You came back and Merrick's dead, and you've replaced her with this redhead?
With two white kids. With two rich white kids.
Two rich white kids. Something's not right.
I'm very excited to see how that all comes together. I do not remember that book very well at all. I do know many, many people, particularly now that we've seen the Mayfair TV series, do not care for the idea of a Rowan and Lestat romance, which I think there's a little love triangle that goes on in this next book. So normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna fucking forget by the time we get to the Prince Lestat trilogy to mention this, unless you all bring it back up to me. So I want to put it here. This is no spoilers for the next book, other than I suppose to say that Mona and Quinn are both alive at the end of it. Although it's so rare for Merrick to have such a short end like that, I think you might assume that as a reader of these books.
I mean,
however, they are non-existent basically in the Prince Lestat trilogy. That is a spoiler for you. They're not really there. And much of the fandom supposes, based on this one event that happens where it's a catastrophic thing that begins that trilogy in many ways, the assumption is that they sort of die off screen, that Anne writes them off even in a lesser way than she did to Merrick. The Great Kraken great underscore Kraken on Threads, who is a good follower over there and interacts with us pretty often. He says, in reply to one of our reels about Blackwood Farm, he said, okay, I have a scoop for you. Mona and Quinn are still alive today. They weren't mentioned in Prince Lestat, so I emailed Anne Rice and I asked if they were okay, because this book is one of my favorites. She confirms that they were in deep South America, were unharmed by the catastrophic event that I mentioned previously, and very much still in love. And a black heart emoji. So there you go. They do have a happy ending. We're not there yet, but we don't get an ending for them genuinely in the books. And there you go. She wrote it off screen.
Well, thanks for that confirmation.
Again, though, let's talk about the fact that woman was so available.
She really...
And so she fucking emails she would reply to. She'd answer for so long. You could just call her house and she would answer the phone sometimes.
Yeah, like she was accessible when it wasn't easy
accessible.
to be accessible.
That's the word that I was trying to,
She made herself so accessible to her fans, even when the internet wasn't a thing yet, you know, like she didn't have to do that. She never had to do that. She never had to keep doing it.
Blood Canticle. We'll do part 1 is going to be the epigraph through chapter 10. This one divides up real neatly. You go 1 through 10, 11 through 21, 22 through 31. That's what we're going to do. Three episodes for Blood Canticle. It's not that long a book. It's like 11 hours, 10 hours, something. The audiobook. I only speak in hours now for books. I don't even remember pages.
Well, you know, pages. What are pages?
What are pages? Then we'll do movie nights. We've got 3 movie nights that are basically the remainders of our last voting. These were the ones that also got several votes but didn't make it to the top of the list. So we're going to start. Run. Exactly. We're going to start with Shadow of the Vampire from 2000, which will fit nicely with our recent Nosferatu discussions. So
yes,
there you go. I'm super excited about that one. I remember Malkovich being amazing in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Blood Canticle Part 2 will be on August 17th. August 24th, we'll do another movie night. It's The Howling. Back to the 80s, Ashley.
Yes!
1981, The Howling.
I love The Howling.
I've never seen this one. I've seen An American Werewolf in London, which came out very close in time. But The Howling always seemed to me a little too much body horror, a little too much scary.
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle it in the 80s or the 90s. I'm super excited to finally get to it. That is also like Poltergeist, which we recently did. I know one that's got like 1 million sequels to it. So now I've got a lot of schlocky horror movies to look forward to once we get the really great first one out of the way.
Absolutely. You watch the really good one and then sit through the rest.
We were explaining to my oldest twin daughter the other day, who had recently told us that Jaws was her favorite film, that there are many sequels to Jaws. And she's like, really? And got it so excited. We were like, no, wait. It's not like that. Actually, they're all really bad.
They're not wonderful. But that first one, my God.
I seem to remember
the one in the water
Caine.
Park is hilarious. Yes, Michael Caine's in Jaws: The Revenge. That's where the shark comes back, or the shark's mother comes back to get revenge on what's left of the Brody family.
That's right.
And the mom from the first movies in that one, and Michael Caine's her love interest.
August 31st, we'll do the end of Blood Canticle Book Club Part 3 there. And then on September 7th, we're going to do our final movie night of this run with Teen Witch from 1989.
Excellent.
I'm so excited to watch Teen Witch. That's got Zelda Rubinstein in it, which we had last week in Poltergeist too.
It's so bad. Also an awkward dance-off.
Right? There's a rap battle. It's so fantastic.
So bad. So great.
On September 14th, we're going to have a special guest episode, and that's all I will say at this moment. A special guest episode on the 14th of September. And then finally, on September 21st, we'll do one more live stream because it's my birthday.
Hey,
yeah, and we might not do the live stream on my birthday. We'll talk about that as we get closer. But that week, we'll do another live stream.
That'll be fun.
And then we should know precisely when in October Talamasca is going to premiere. So we ought to be able to decide, okay, do we want to do like just a couple more movie nights? Do we want to talk? Maybe we do a whole episode where we talk about Talamasca lore
Just in
before
general.
the show. Yeah, exactly. Like go through the alphabetary a little bit and look at some of these characters and some of the creation of the Talamasca and talk about what we expect out of the series. We'll definitely do at least one of those before the show starts, and we'll know by the end of September when that's going to be. As a matter of fact, speaking of, before we break up, SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, we didn't mention it in our last episode. We have been confirmed. We're going to get a Talamasca slot at first, and then secondarily is going to be Interview with the Vampire. Sam Reed's confirmed. Daniel Hart's confirmed. Rollin Jones confirmed. Mark Johnson is confirmed. I don't think they said Jacob's going to be there, but I can't remember that off the top of my head.
I can't
honestly.
remember.
They also, though, implied or said outright there's going to be an on-stage surprise. I think we might get a live performance. I think we might see the Vampire Lestat perform on stage with his band.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
I mean, we know they've cast actual musicians and singers, at least a few for the band. So like it is entirely, and we know Sam can sing. So like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could really do a few live things. And whether they're going to do any actual like concerts or not, to have him sing one song on stage would be unfucking believable. And again, the press that you would get with that would be pretty sizable, I would imagine.
I mean, we would be very, very excited to see it.
All right. So all of that is to come when we do get San Diego Comic-Con content, which I think is like the weekend of the 27th. Honestly, it should be around our live stream. If any of that stuff can be streamed online, Ashley and I will probably react to it. So like that'll be up just like we did in the past. One bummer as we're recording today, the show has been skipped over for this year's Emmys as well. They have been snubbed.
It did get you know what? It did get a nomination for hair. It did get a nomination for makeup.
Hey, okay. Well, not an entire
it did.
Performances at least not. But yeah, look, that's better than nothing for sure.
Yeah, that's way better than nothing. I found the Comic-Con panel, and it's Mark Johnson, Rollin Jones, Sam Reed, Jacob Anderson,
excellent,
Eric Bogosian, and Daniel Hart.
Nice. Yeah, I genuinely would not be surprised if we get a perform. I mean, I will be overwhelmed and amazed and so happy, but I would not be shocked if it happens. I do think it's possible, and I don't think that's out of the realm of happenings. So we'll have lots of news in the next couple of weeks is the thing. We got a lot of fun stuff to do as we get through this next book, a couple of good movies, and all of our time with you. Thank you all so much for making this happen. Don't forget to go take our poll if you're going to join us in New Orleans so that we know about that. There is links to say yes that you would like to take the vampire tour if we're going to sign up for that as well with Rose Sinister while we're in New Orleans. Information to get your hotel rooms for New Orleans. And as we're recording this, I think there's still a couple of tickets left for the Celebration of Life. It hasn't totally sold out yet, I don't think.
That's crazy. I'm shocked.
I mean, there are very few, but
right.
And at this point, it would probably be hard to sit like a party together, maybe. But if if you've been putting it off or you didn't make payday or whatever, there you go. You might still have some time. Go check it out. And then, of course, the other thing is people's plans are going to fall through. Some people's are. And so there's going to be some reselling of these tickets available.
Oh, yeah.
So stay in there in the hunt if you have decided that you want to go. All the links and info for that is in the show notes. And I guess that is all the business. Ashley.
The business.
Thank you so much for reading another great book with me.
Hey, I had a blast. I really liked this one. This was definitely worth a reread. Especially since I had forgotten half of it.
I just remembered there was one more thing that I wanted to say this week, and I'll do this as a little addendum. If you are interested in Dungeons and Dragons at all, I cannot recommend enough the podcast that we actually mentioned, I think, last week, The Adventure Zone from the McElroy brothers. It is very funny. The three brothers who are all sort of comedians in their own right, their father, the four of them play D&D together, and it's great.
It's so funny.
There's a lot of really great arcs.
I don't even play D&D. I think it's so funny.
Well, it's improv, right? It's structured improv is what it really is. Honestly,
Yes.
it's improv with very specific rules. But they have a bunch of different arcs. The one that I am almost done with as we record this, I've got one more episode left, and then they do like a out of fiction wrap up where they answer questions about the arc afterwards. But I'm almost done with the Adventure Zone versus Dracula. And it is exactly that. It's the three brothers playing, or two of the brothers and the dad playing various characters. One is like a cleric, and one is a monster hunter from a long family of monster hunters, and the other one is a recently Frankensteined, a wealthy lady who is now on the body of a barbarian, and so she's real.
I love it.
Rushes in sort of person. It's very, very funny. They do 30 episodes in the arc proper, and then I know they've done at least 2 or 3 live episodes where they do those characters not versus Dracula, but versus another open domain, public domain character. So, for instance, the first one that I listened to, they did a live episode called The Adventure Zone versus Moby Dick, where Steamboat Mickey drove them out to fight Moby Dick.
Holy shit.
It was so good, Ashley. I think they've done an episode, The Adventure Zone versus Robin Hood, with those same characters as well. Anyway, there's several of those, and I think specifically since it's vampire related, some of you might dig that. It's very, very monster friendly. There's a bunch of things that come up in that run. So really enjoyed it. It's been a great story, and it's super reasonable, right? Like every episode is like an hour and change. So even in 30 episodes for the whole arc, you're talking about like 50-ish hours probably. So it's like a long, it's like the witching hour.
The Stand.
Anyway, cannot recommend it enough. Super enjoying that. And if you need something light to go with some of these heavier tomes from Anne, it's a good fit. All right. That is going to be it. I do want to say, if you haven't been checking them out, you should dive in on our YouTube channel or our Patreon for my Dark Shadows watch and reactions. I am up to today. I recorded and I'm editing currently episode 80 of Dark Shadows. So there's a bunch of that out there, and there's a bunch more to come. There's like 1,200, I think, total. So I will be swinging at this a while.
It was a soap opera. It was I did the math today
because around episode 70, the quality of production like noticeably got improved. They started doing a lot more outdoor shots, and like I feel like one of their sets got totally rebuilt and everything. And I was like, I wonder like how long into the run. It was like 30 weeks into the run is what that is at 70 episodes. You're like, it's not even a year in. I'm like, wow.
They're the real heroes. They're doing the real work.
I mean, show it. Literally, I think about these people doing it day in and day out. I'm like, Jesus, that would be I don't know what they were paying them, but it wasn't enough.
No, soap actors deserve all the money. That is the hardest job I can imagine. Right?
No time to learn the lines either. Like, it's so clear that most of these actors read off of cue cards the whole time. Anyway, really fun stuff happening right now in the arc. So go check that out. articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad free, or you can visit us on YouTube wherever you're watching this. All right. That's it. We'll be back next week with a live stream is what we'll be back with.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
We don't have to do any homework.
I know, right? It's going to be fun. All right. Until then, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.